What's going on, everybody? It's Childish. We're back out of the game, coming at you with another video for Summoners War Chronicles. And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the 5 Beetle Knights that just recently dropped in the game, to include the one that we're going to be potentially getting for free here. So again, if you guys haven't had a chance to check out the full update here, I'm going to save you guys the time and give you a video from my man Barcode here, who recently dropped an update video talking about the important things that just recently came out in the game in under 2 minutes. So if you guys haven't had a chance to check it out, check out the link in the description down below, or take a look at the link up top here. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Again, if you guys haven't had a chance to check out like the Korean server and seeing these new units in action here, these are a family of defense scaling units that provide a wide variety of unique mechanics in their arsenal here. If you're looking for a nice knight. So let's go ahead and focus on the one that we actually get through the monster store here, the Fire Beetle Knights Sir Hercules. First skill, basic attack, right? Simple, multi-hitting attack. Second skill though, or first skill, I guess you should say the first active attack, a lance charge, charges forward to attack the enemies and basically flips them up, airborne them with a certain chance and provokes them. Now let me go ahead and get into the skill info so you guys can see kind of where we're at when it comes to like the overall skills here. Lance charge, when at the current state, it's going to be 50% airborne, 70% provoke, and it's going to go up to 62 and 82% respectively. So again, even if we don't get the airborne here, the good thing about this one is that you are going to be able to provoke the units here. So that is obviously really nice because, again, this is not just a single target attack. This is an AoE attack, which is going to be really, really good. I think this is going to be actually pretty fun for PvP as well here. Now, the second skill, Iron Shield here, applies attack down and crit damage down to the enemies within an area with the power of the shield. So obviously I'm definitely down with this, because regardless if we're talking about PvP or PvE, any opportunity to provide ways to reduce the amount of damage that we're going to take, it is going to be a little bit easier for you to keep your units alive, right? Now, if we go to the ultimate here, or Awaken, we're going to get obviously our passive ability and as well as the ultimate. The passive ability for this one here becomes the Beetle Knight becomes Provoke, right? Immune to Provoke, excuse me. So if the team member gets a beneficial effect removed or stolen, you use Hellfire Charge on the target to go ahead on the one that removes, on the target that removes or steals the effect here. So this is kind of cool, right? Hellfire Charge charges towards the enemy and deals damage based on the defense, which of course is what we're going to be building it on. Removes all beneficial effects on the target and silences it with a certain chance. Wow. And the damage increases based on the number of beneficial effects the target has, which is crazy because, again, this is we're very, very heavy when it comes to in the meta when it comes to beneficial effects here. So considering how this passive is set up here, you're like, if the opponent is using, especially for PvP, if the opponent is using anything that strips or steals, right? If they're rocking a segment here, that segment's gonna be taking a lot of hits here. Again, it's gonna literally go to the opponent, strip them, do damage, silence them. Now take a look. The chance of this, it says with a certain chance that it doesn't like dictate like actually the amount, like percentage chance of what the silence is going to be here, but either way, I mean, this is additional ways of stripping beneficial effects, which is pretty crazy, considering this is literally the unit that they give. But again, this is something that I'm really excited to see because they did it in the last video, or sorry, the last update here, dropping Karambit. Obviously that particular unit here, out of all the 3, was one that everybody went for here. His kit was out without question, probably one of the better crits out of the main 3 ones. So the fact that they're giving us this is a free-to-play unit that everyone's going to obtain, and it's that strong, really, really happy about this unit. Really, really happy about this unit, okay? The ultimate is going to provide a little bit of a bonus here as far as the skill goes. The second skill here, it's going to be a little bit stronger, higher percent rate, and then this one's going to be a little bit longer duration here. So again, if you're looking for some additional debuffs here to land, that's going to be the way to go. Now, moving on from Sir Hercules to Sir Neptune. Now, this is one I'm sure you guys have heard by now. A lot of talk about this one, given the fact that Orbia was one of the weaker out of the 3 summoners. But anyways, guys, let me stop doing the spoilers here. Let's just go ahead and get into it, right? Same skill, lance charge, first skill, right? 50% airborne will go up to 62% and provide a defense down. So this is a little bit different than the fire one here. The fire one getting a chance to do an AoE provoke, but this one here providing an AoE defense break, and that is a level 2 down for 16 seconds. So again, already from the get-go, even though I do like provoke in certain situations here, I'm definitely down for a unit that's going to provide a little bit more defense breaks here. So definitely excited about that. This one over here, this one, Iron Shield, it's going to applies move speed down to the enemy, so it's going to reduce the attack, or sorry, just the overall movement of the particular unit here. I think it's going to be fun for PvP. Then we got a crit raise up as well as a continued recovery. So we got a little bit of a heal, a little bit of a res buff here. That's obviously really nice. We'll take it. So again, This would be good. I think this would be great for like the battlefield and being able to apply this one if the enemy starts running away. So that'll be kind of good to take advantage of if you have this unit in your arsenal. Now the passive, when it's awakened, Beetle Knight Regenerative Chitin, if that's how you pronounce it. Correct me in the chat down below, okay? Beetle Knight becomes immune to provoke, which is similar to the fire one, but this one has an ability where the summoner, if it takes death inflicting damage, it ignores the damage and applies Endure on the summoner, recovers the summoner's HP here. So this is based on the target's max HP, which is good because obviously this is a defense scaling unit, so this is not going to have a crazy amount of HP here. That being said, though, the unit that this has essentially been recommended for, which is going to be Orbia users or Orbia summoners, obviously they're not going to have a crazy amount of HP, but depending on how you build it, depending on what kind of gear you put on here, yeah, I mean, you can get a little bit more value out of it. So super excited for the Orbia community that's been just struggling to, climb up in the PvP ranks, the battlefield ranks, RTA ranks, and all that jazz. Because now, if they happen to pull this one, this is going to be a great one that's going to give them a little bit more survivability for some of those harder matches here. Next one up, the Ultimate Iron Shield, which again is kind of similar to the Fire one, where it just kind of gives a little buff to this particular skill. It's going to improve the mood speed down 70% up for 20 seconds, and then we get the crit raise buff up for 20 seconds, as well as certain percentage, a straight percentage of target HP, versus this one just having continuous recovery here. So that's a nice little improvement as well. Again, without question, so far out of the two units here, if you're an Orbia user, this is the one you're going to be going for. This passive is pretty sick. But ultimately, the good thing about it is, like I said, you get a copy of this. Now, if you want to go with this one, you can use the banner to go ahead and get yourself a second copy so you can get it to Awaken 10. Now, take a look at Sir Actaeon, the Wind Beetle Knight here. Skill 1, this one's going to provide the same airborne effect that the other ones do, but instead of providing either the defense down or the provoke, now you have the electric shock. You have the silence for 12 seconds. Now, again, keep in mind that this will only work if the target has electric shock here, which I'm assuming that in its kit is going to have some kind of ability that's going to allow him to take advantage of this combo here, right? So second skill applies defense up to the allies, level 2 defense up here, and provides provoke as well. So interesting because it's kind of incorporating two things here. It's literally providing a skill that's going to provoke and control the opponents, but also provide a little bit of support on them. So he's going to be taking the aggro and be able to not only mitigate the damage, but his party is going to be mitigating damage if they have some kind of AoEs that are going to be coming in. So now the passive on this one here, Electrocuting Chitin, when attacked by the enemy, it replaces defense up with defense down and discharges the lightning that applies to electric shock here. So this is the passive that we're talking about here. When it is targeted, it's going to provide that electric shock, and if those units have electric shock, this is where this first active skill is going to be coming into play. Take note, guys, this is not just a basic small silence here. Silence for 12 seconds is an extremely long time here. So this is really, really cool. Like I said, it is a pretty interesting combination, right? You got to get the provoke, you got to hit the unit, get the electric shock, and do it. Now, there's no activation rate on if it goes here. So it sounds like if it gets hit, it gets electric shock here. I'm guessing there's going to be like a little bit of an accuracy resistance check on this one here. But either way, pretty strong, mechanic here. Really, really nice. For sure. Ultimate now. Level 1 defense up for 20 seconds here. We got a recovery heal based on a defense here, which is kind of nice. And then again, a really, really strong provoke when it comes to the length, but the overall activation rate, this one's a little bit smaller, 45% rate here. So again, it's kind of interesting. When it comes to ultimates here, I don't really get myself into situations where I'm using knights all too much in that spot. Outside of that, though, I will say that as of late, I was using the Fire Panda in that spot because Fire Panda has the lower cooldown time for the provoke, so I was able to cast a provoke here. Maybe because of the strength of this kit and how good it is, we might be able to make an argument for this one. The thing of it is though his skills are this one here is a 3 mana cost here, but the actual provoke, which is what I'm looking for when it comes to a tank and trying to control the playing field here, this one's 4 versus the 3 here. So this is interesting. This overall kit here, I think at the end of the day, it is pretty good. But as far as like the comparison to the other ones here, I actually feel like it goes water, fire, wind for these ones here. But again, I'm being a little bit more biased because I'm talking about an Orbia user. At the end of the day, if you need a knight and you pull this one, out of all the knights that are available right now, these knights are, you know, fairly good. I do like their passives. I do like the way how they can, you know, immune to the provokes, because again, provoking is a pretty strong feature. You know, whether we're talking about Fire Panda, we're talking about the Water Frankenstein, I mean Tractor. I mean, there's like Provoke is pretty sick. There's a couple of units out there with low cooldown, so if you don't have, if you have a means to, you know, provide immunity to it, or, you know, this particular unit has immunity and won't get controlled it, then you can utilize some of these skills here and, you know, try to control the other opponent. You know, hopefully they don't have any beneficial effects, but either way, like I said, even with this one here, you got a way of, you know, being able to strip it, some additional strips or whatnot here, which is actually really, really good. So let's take a look at some of these other units here. Obviously, you know, Sir Tidius, is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. And Sir Gideon, going to be a lot harder units to get, but we'll still take a look at these units here and see if they're any good. First one, the light one for the active skill here, charges the opponent and removes a beneficial effect, applies block beneficial effect if it doesn't have beneficial. So this, without question, obviously it's a light and dark candidate, so it should be good. Out of all this, out of all the skills that I've seen so far, this one here to me, really, really good. Just beneficial effects are outrageously strong, but block beneficial effects, I actually do feel it's a little bit underrated. And the fact that it is here for 16 seconds here makes it extremely hard to deal with unless you have a cleanser on their party to go ahead and cleanse those debuffs here. So a really, really nice ability here. Again, this is charges forward to attack enemies within the area and removes a beneficial effect. So this is AoE strip, or if not strip, AoE block beneficial effects. Pretty sick. Yeah, pretty sick indeed. Second skill, Iron Shield, again, increases the level of all beneficial effects on nearby allies, and with the power of the shield, and provokes enemies in the area with a certain chance. Also applies continuous recovery to allies without continuous recovery. So that is pretty darn strong. I mean, if you got level 1 skills, you're going to be able to increase the level of, well, it says increase level, beneficial level by 2, beneficial effect level by 2. So if it's level 3 attack buff, you're going to get level 5 attack buff. If it's level 4 defense, you should be getting level 6 defense. If that's how it sounds like that's how it is. So I do like that. 4 mana cost, very respectable. And again, has a really, really good chance to provoke. Not as long as some of the other, you know, counterparts in this particular family, but considering how strong this level 2 beneficial effect, and, you know, combining it alongside specific units that have really strong beneficial effects, yeah, that's going to be really, really good. Really, really good here. Now, the passive on this one here is pretty straightforward. It removes the beneficial effect on the target with a certain chance when attacked by the enemy. So when they're attacked, 55% chance to strip beneficial effects. So this, without question, is like the ultimate stripper between the skill 1 and the passive. Really, really strong. I can see why some of the players out there are going ham with this one if they actually pull it. The ultimate now creates a shield and applies continuous recovery to all allies. So you can, this is kind of that combination, whether you have it on a unit or you use your ultimate to get that beneficial bonus here for the continuous recovery. If you don't have it, you'll get it right here. The increases the level of all beneficial effects here by 1, and then again has that super high chance of removing beneficial effects here. So again, really, really cool feature. Multiple skills to strip, a passive that allows to strip as well. Keep in mind, this passive is a fairly lower cooldown, or sorry, not lower rate per se versus some of these other abilities, but oh, it's at 55% here. But either way, still really good. And to keep note, one of the things that I tend to miss, but some of you guys may or may not have seen, the passive is it's like an active passive, meaning yes, once this provokes or once this goes off, there is a small cooldown here, so this can't constantly go off and off and off. Again, let's take a look once more at these other ones here. Same thing here. Cooldown's 12 seconds on this one. Cooldown is 120 seconds, that makes sense, right? Because of the fact that this is a ignore damage kind of ability here. This is not something that you're going to constantly be able to get here. So one thing I didn't point out, you know, when we're talking about it, but keep that in mind, fam. The passives in here do have a cooldown, so it's not something that's going to be staying on there forever. So that's crazy, because I ain't going to lie. Up until I saw that last one here, I really didn't know. You know, like if there was a cooldown or whatnot here, because if there wasn't any kind of cooldown to kind of, you know, bring down the strength of that passive, I think these units would be a little too OP. But moving on here, Sir Gideon, let's take a look at this particular unit here. This one is going to be able to provide that airborne effect that'll be seen from the other Beetle's active skill 1. But this one here is going to provide the exploding of the poison. So if it has poisons on it, you're going to be able to explode it, which is great if you are focusing on poison. Seconds ago is going to provide the poisoning AoE poison abilities here. And if it does have some kind of a damage over time, you also get that fear, which again, you guys don't really see that all too much here. But if you guys are really familiar with the Naraka, right? If I recall correctly, Naraka, when you first get started here, he has that AoE that he jumps off with that essentially provides the fear, pushing everybody away and kind of, not allowing them to do any abilities here. So that is kind of cool. That is definitely kind of cool. I like that ability. And that level 2 poison, that's a pretty long time here, 25 seconds. Now, the passive on this one, becomes immune to provoke like all the other ones here, and increases a team summoner ultimate gauge every time the Beetle Knight successfully lands a CC effect on the enemy. So it applies the poison to the target when attacked and by the enemy here. So if it applies CC, you got a 5% increase on the ultimate gauge, and then when attacked, it gets the poison. So additional ways to get the poison, additional ways to get the ult. And again, it is a 3-second cooldown, so I do like that. It's not as high as some of the other ones here, so this will go off more than we would think. So I do like that. I mean, on paper it does. We'll have to see how it plays out when we do it, when people get it here. But overall, I do like it. Now the ultimate here is a little bit of a buff on this particular one here. Instead of providing the poison on this one's going to exploit the poison in addition to providing some additional poison on here. So again, if you get yourself a handful of poison by means of this guy, or bring in some other units out there that have those poison ability, or maybe you're playing around with like a Dark Orbia and you provide the poisons as well here, you're going to be able to do quite a bit of damage over time, but ultimately be able to explode it and just do some instant damage for you if you're about that life. So again, overall, these Beetle Knights do look pretty good. Again, the focus for me as an Orbia user, as my main, is definitely going to be the water one. This is going to be the one that I'm going to be summoning for. And obviously I'll try to, I probably will go for another copy of it just so I can get it to Awaken 10. I'm not sure where you guys at when it comes to this game, but I'm not going ham when it comes to spending money. But when it comes to investing into my units here, I'm definitely trying to get, all of my units that I heavily focus on, at least at the very minimum, to Awaken 10. I do want to get that a little bit of additional stats, a little bit of additional combat power. Awaken 12, 14, 15, those are going to cost quite a bit more pieces. It's going to be a little bit harder to do because of the fact that these guys are nat fights. But that being said, though, you guys already know we have the blessing in play that we can utilize to switch up our units and put those in. So it'll be, we'll eventually get them to Awaken 15. It's just going to take a little bit of time for a 5-star unit comparison to like a 4-star, 3-star counterpart here, right? So, but anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Just want to go ahead and give you a review here. Again, for me, water, fire, wind is my order here, and just light and dark are pretty good, with, I would say, the light one getting the nod as the best Beetle Knight in the game, in my humble opinion. Again, if you guys have anything different to say about that, or if you have any comments to say about this, maybe you've seen some on the Korean server that is really cool with this one when you combine with certain units or synergize with other kind of teams, let us know in the comment section down below. Looking forward to hearing your feedback on that. Yeah, guys, it is Thursday, January 5th, 2023. So if you guys are seeing this video, you probably should just stop what you're doing right now, because we're going to be live on Twitch here, twitch.tv/childish402. We will be live at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time here. I got a summoning session to do for one of my birthday guests at 8 p.m. But once we're done with that, we're going to be popping off here about 100 scrolls and see if we can get ourselves a copy or two of this Water Beetle Knight. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Thank you guys so much for your support. And as always, fam, if you guys are enjoying this content, you all know what to do. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you guys all in the next one. Take care.